Hello and welcome to Dreams of Wings, and welcome here to beautiful Innsbruck, and more importantly, welcome to the A2A Simulations Accu-sim Aerostar 600. We have been waiting for this for some time. I'm sure you've seen it in all the forums and everywhere else, people saying, when's the Aerostar coming out? Well, it's here. It's here sort of, because this is the early release, or the early access release. Took me by surprise. I was away on business this week when it got released, so I am late to the party with my video, and YouTube is awash with reviews of the Aerostar now. So this video is a little bit different. We're just going to go on a flight. I've got a spare seat for you. We're going to take the Aerostar from here at Innsbruck down to Bologna in Italy. And it should be quite scenic, hopefully, if the weather doesn't get in the way too much. And it'll just give us a chance to really stretch the legs of the Aerostar and have a look at it and see how it works. And also we'll be using ATC as well, BeyondATC. So it's a kind of a full IFR flight, which will hopefully go through a lot of the features and a lot of the different bits and bobs on it. But more importantly, we're just going to have a blast taking this wonderful aircraft over the Alps. Anyway, enough of my waffle. Let's get in. Okay, well here we are, and this is the kind of view I don't often see, because I must admit I really don't use the 2024 walk-around things, because I tend not to fly 2024 default aircraft, if I'm completely honest. But this is the first A2A bespoke 2024 native, is the better word, isn't it? That's what everyone calls it. It's the 2024 native aircraft. And A2A have always been known for their walkarounds, and what they've done is they've incorporated the walkaround into the MSFS 2024 system. So that's what we've got here. So we can literally walk around, which I have to say is kind of immersive. Didn't quite appreciate maybe how immersive it was, but the fact that you can actually walk around and look around your aircraft and all that sort of thing, you could run amok all over the place, couldn't you? But yeah, it's pretty cool. So anyway, I think it's important that we crack on with this flight. We can do some more talking when we get in the air. So let's do a quick walk around. First of all, I'm going to check my lights. This is a brand new aircraft, but I do want to check that all my lights are working. So let's have everything on. Not going to worry about that. Let's have the landing lights on. Let's pop outside. This is the pre-release kind of early access model that we're flying. So bear in mind that some things might well be different when the 1.0 or the final release actually comes out. So let's have a look. Quick look around. Let's check the landing lights. Yep, landing lights are all good. Pop over here. We've got strobes. We've got our port wing light. We've got our rotating beacon. Well, it's not rotating. I'm not in the Comanche now, boy. We've got our flashing beacon on the top, and we've got our tail light there. And then over here, let's have a quick check of our starboard. Starboard nav is working, and our strobe, and we can see underneath that our red beacon is flashing there. So all the lights are good. So let's pop back in here, and let's turn the battery off before we do anything. Now, I haven't tested something, but actually, do you know what? Why the hell not? Let's have a quick look. I can get the keys right. I keep forgetting because I'm not used to using it. Now, the pitot tube on the Aerostar is right up there. So let's see. No, nothing happening. I was kind of going off the old Comanche, where you could click that and it would go red, but that may well be something that they're going to bring into it. I'm just double checking the other side in case I've missed anything obvious. But yeah, I think there are some other things that they're doing and they're going to be bringing into it, so that could well just be one of them. Maybe you need a step ladder to get up there, I don't know, but I'm not seeing I am not seeing anything else. I mean, the detail on this is quite incredible. Look at that little label there. Very good. Okay, let's run round here, and I'm going to pop back in. Let's turn the battery off. This is Accu-sim. It will bite us on the arse if we're not careful. So just checking here that I've got the gear down. So that's all good. Have a quick look over here. Now, interestingly, again, used to the Comanche where the flaps will come down when you haven't got any power on, but I'm just going to move that. Let's have a look here. Flap position. We can see that that is moving, or it was moving. We probably haven't got enough hydraulic pressure to really do anything at the moment, so that's absolutely fine. Just a little experiment there. Right, let's jump outside again, and let's get back into doing our walk around thing. So let's have a quick look here. No birdies nesting in the engine, and the propellers look absolutely fine. Check the leading edge. That's all looking good. Our nav light, the glass is intact. Let's have a look at our fuel tank. Oh, let's have a look. Crane over. Yep, that's all good. We can see that we've got fuel coming up to the lip there. So we can close that. Let's have a feel of the aileron. Aileron is nice and steady. It's not letting me grab the flap at the moment, so maybe that's just something that... oh, there we go. Yep, that's nice and rigid. Quick duck down, and let's remove the chock. There we go, and let's have a look if I can remember. Yeah, I've got to come back round here, haven't I? Come on, lad, get it sorted out. Get the angle right. Reach over. Here we go. Check the oil. Brand new aeroplane, so we're expecting a lovely rich golden colour. There we go, and the level is absolutely fine, and that will change. Colour will change, and obviously level will change. Accu-sim is very much about having an aircraft that is alive, and that's something that A2A have always been very good at. Flying an aircraft that feels like it's alive. It's going to change. It's persistent. So things are going to deteriorate and all that kind of good stuff. There we go. Rudder's in good nick. Let's check the elevator. Yep, elevator's all good. Light is all good. So yeah, you have to keep an eye on things. Right, let's have a feel of that. That's all good. Aileron is nice. I feel like I am. Again, look at that. You've got the guys who painted it. There is only one repaint available in the early access, so it'd be interesting to see what they do moving forward. Because I think there's going to be some really interesting community repaints. Let's have a look there. Let's see if we can get down a bit lower so you can see it properly. It's a bit hard. There we go. So we're just going to check the fuel. Check for any water. No, there isn't. So that's all good to go. We can leave that. Some people get very upset when you dump the fuel on the ground. But that's what we're going to do. Yep, let's remove the chocks. Out you come, and tyre condition is looking good. Should have checked that over there, but it's looking mighty fine. Okay, let's run around here and let's check the fuel. Peep over. Yep, nice, all good. Come back round here, check the engine. On the starboard, yep, no birdies, no rags, and the the propeller is absolutely fine. If you've got an airport attached to your aircraft, you know you're in trouble. Static port is clear, and something I need to quickly run round here and do. That's all clear. Nose wheel is good. Is we need to check the fuselage fuel tank, which is over on this side. Let's see. Open the baggage. No baggage. Only emotional baggage. Let's have a look in here, and we can just peek in. There we go. We can see the fuselage fuel level there. Yeah, it would have been better actually if I checked the fuel over here, wouldn't it? You can get a proper look at it. That's the best place to do it. Like with anything, it's getting into a good flow. Right, I don't think I've missed anything. We've removed the chocks, so that's all good. Here's our lovely aeroplane. so we can jump in. So, as I say, we're going to be using BeyondATC for this flight. Let's see. There we go. We're going to be using BeyondATC, so we're going to try and keep it real as much as possible. Just check that that's secure, and it is. Let's open the... here we go. So, if you have flown the Comanche, if you know A2A, or if you've seen one of the plethora of reviews that are already out on the Aerostar, you will know all about this anyway. But I'm not going to go into a huge amount of detail, but just to very quickly run through it on our. This is the. I should have covered it. So built into the bespoke EFB with 2024, we have the Aerostar button. And from there we can go into here. So we've got our QNH, we've got Viz, we've got basically some really quite useful MET information there. We've got the wind, so this is the wind, 30 knots from 075, and as we are at the moment, we've got a 2 knot tailwind and a 12 knot crosswind component, so that's your 13 knots, and that's what it actually looks like where we are sat sitting. We've got our temperatures, what it's like for the passengers in here, and then we've got all sorts of other information as well, and some useful power settings as well. This is really quite useful. You know, with any new aircraft you have to get the power settings into your head and all that kind of good stuff, so I will be referring to those. I've done a bit of flying with the Aerostar. I was lucky to be sort of brought in on the beta, although I wasn't able to get a huge amount of flying in because of things I was doing, and I was mainly just doing some kind of handling stuff. So there's some deep dive stuff that we're going to be going into here that I haven't really covered a great deal, so this is a good training flight for me as well, but this is really useful information here. We've then got all our checklists. We've then got our emergencies, which we won't be simulating, although this is Accu-sim, so you never know what could happen. This is the kind of stuff that you really need to have in your mind as a flow for when things do go wrong. But don't worry, you've signed the insurance waivers. There's nothing to worry about today. Here is all our controls. So you can see this is your vanilla no GPS old schooly thing. I've got the GTN 750XI, so I'm going to be flying with that, and I've got that selected. Obviously you need to purchase the TDS GTN XI separately to be able to use it in here, but otherwise you've got the GNS 430, the 530, or you can have both. And I believe A2A are working on the ability to have the GTN XI 750 and the 650 together, and of course now GTN have got crossflow, or TDS have got crossflow, so you can use that, which is rather cool. And basically in here you've got all your quick easy access to a lot of things that are already in the cockpit, so it's kind of like an easy way of seeing where everything is and cheating. And also you've got auto start cold and dark, and then you've got some advanced options as well. So right, I'm going to just change that to Celsius because I want it to be in Celsius. It all helps. Right, what else do we want to do? I've gone through controls, so we've done that, so that's all good. I've explained what that's about for you. Anything else that we want to do? I don't think so. So we go on to fuel and payload. So that's you. You're sitting on that seat there. You'll just have to pretend. And then we've got a medium load for fuel because we're not going to be going that far, and that should give us plenty of gas. Actually, do you know what? We're going to have a full load. Why the hell not? Now, no. Let's come on to that. Right, maintenance. Here we have our two engines, 1 and 2. They're brand new, so we shouldn't have to do anything with them, but we can inspect them. And to inspect them, you click on inspect, and there you go. Everything's in green, which is great. We can change our spark plugs. If we've got some spark plug fouling, we can clean our spark plugs. If we really have been very naughty and absolutely destroyed our engine, you can overhaul it there as well. So that's your get out of jail card. And we can do the same for engine 2. So we'll inspect. Everything's green as we would expect. We can check our oil and fill our oil there as well. and if we want to overhaul everything, you can overhaul all, and then you get the parity between the two engines. Parity, yeah. You can select what type of aircraft you want. We have got new. If you wanted to, you could select used, which means it's going to have some wear and tear on it, and some systems might not be 100%. If you are feeling really brave, you can go for auction, and if you've got auction, you really do need to do some inspecting, get your engineer out, have a good look around, and see what's what, because you might get some nasty surprises. So that's our engine 1, engine 2. Engine analyzer is more for when we actually get going, but I'll show you some bits and bobs on that. But some kind of old salts have said in the past with the Comanche, that's not very realistic, you don't have that information in the real aircraft. Well, that's absolutely fine. I think it's actually quite cool, especially if you're learning the ropes, because it's giving you obviously get a lot of feedback on what's happening with the aircraft from the instruments and from sounds, and Accu-sim is very good at doing that, that's for sure. But this is a great way of learning the aircraft more. You can see things in detail and understand how the aircraft is working, so it's great for people who are new to flight sim, or people who just want a really good easy way of seeing what the blooming aircraft is doing. I think it's great personally, but there you go. Right, so and again we've got engine 1 and engine 2, and you can overhaul here as well. Electrical system is what it says on the can. I hate that saying, but there you go. We've got a full battery, and when we get going and you can see all the electricity, all the electrons chuntering around the aircraft, then you'll see bits and bobs going in there as well. Now at the moment, airframe, I missed that, so let's inspect that as well, and as you can see everything is green, and if you wanted to you could overhaul the airframe. So again, this is a way of you can either individually fix things. If we click on propeller, for example, it says this propeller is in nice shape, the edges are smooth and it's nicely balanced, it has plenty of life left. Thank God, because it's new. We'd be in trouble if there was anything wrong with it. But if there was anything wrong with it, you would get colour indications there, and if you click on it, it'll tell you what's wrong, and then you've got the ability to fix them as well, which is pretty cool. Okay, right, so we've had a quick look through that, and that's all good. I don't think I need to change anything else. How have I got everything set up here? That's all good. Blah 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 blah. I'm gonna put no, I'm gonna leave that as it was. Okay, so just for myself, quick check through what I need to do. I've done the walk around, I've talked you through those bits and pieces there. We've got the TDS GTN XI loaded there. What I now need to do is I'm going to start the engines. This is a twin, and then we are going to contact ATC, get an IFR clearance because we're flying IFR, and then we can get going. And as I said, I kind of want to keep waffle on the ground to a minimum because I want to get us up in the air, but we are going to be professional and run through checklists and all that kind of good stuff. Right, so checklists. Before engine start, pre-flight complete, we've done that. Passengers, I've told you, sign the insurance waiver. Don't go spilling your coffee over the cockpit, please. Thank you very much. And seatbelts are secured. Cabin door is closed and locked. This is the only cabin door that we've got. People presumably have to kind of climb through the back and have a good squeeze, but it's got pretty good space, really, considering the size of the aircraft. Cabin door, we've done that. Battery ignition is off and off and off, just checking those. Gear switch is down, and I'm checking my physical gear switch as well, just to make sure as well. Flappage we can now put up because we've done our testing, and when we fire everything up that will come through. Brakes, test for firm, they are firm, and let's just double check again. Parking brake is on, that's on my physical controllers. Flight controls are, let's see how much we can see. Yeah, we can just see the ailerons there, and if I pop our, there we go, we can see that's moving nicely, and rudder is good as well. Parking brake is set, all done Switches are all off, just having a check for that. Battery can now go on. Gear lock lights, we have got those. We have got our 3 greens. Just quickly having a look at that. Elevator and rudder trim, that's down here. That is, if we just move that, we can see that's in the neutral position, which is jolly good. Hydraulic shutoff is open. That is over here, and we can see that's open. Fuel check up here, full-ish full, which is all good. Low fuel warning is off. We haven't got any of those, and the altimeter and clock is set. So we're going to be setting the altimeter once we get the ATIS, but we can see here it's 1022. So what I will do is let's quickly bang that in, and then we can check it against the ATIS, because we wouldn't really have that in the real world, would we? Keeping it real. What do I want to... Something suddenly triggered, then I thought I want to check that. Oh, circuit breakers in, I think at the moment, let's get rid of the yoke. The circuit breakers haven't been modelled yet. They will be. A2A always model that kind of thing, but they're not quite in there yet, so nothing's happening with it. Okay, right, engine start. So this is where it starts to get really quite interesting. Let's move you over there. Right, so prop fully forward. We're going to do it for both. Mixture is in idle cutoff. Just checking my physical controls there. Throttle is cracked. Battery is on. Low fuel is out. No issues there. Fuel selectors, cycle and listen. So I'm going to shut up while I do this. Left engine. I don't know if you can just hear that. The outside noises are quite loud, but I can just hear it. I don't know if you can. Again, I don't know if you heard that, but that did kick in there. What else have we got? Bum, 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 bum. Right, there we go. Battery is on. Fuel selector, cycle and listen. Right, we're going to start the right engine first. So we are just reading it here. Right fuel boost on. Right mixture full. Check flow, and then off. Right starter engage, and then we go full rich on the mixture. Throttle set to RPM, 100,000 RPM, and then the right fuel boost is going to go off. So let's do that now. So fuel boost on. Check flow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now going to close that. Now we are going to start. Might have to give it a bit of mixture. Okay, let's stop that. So again, it's Accu-sim, it's alive, you never know what's going to happen. Let's have a look at what's happening with the engine so we can get an idea of what's going on. So engine 2, red, that means it's flooded. Okay, so what are we going to do? We're going to make sure that that is off, and that is off, and we are going to cycle the engine. There we go. Look at that, it even started. So what we'll do this time, and interesting, there's a video on the A2A channel of Scott starting the real Aerostar. Don't forget, they own an Aerostar, and there's a video where he's starting it, and you'll see this kind of behaviour in it. So this is actually quite realistic. We probably, well, I say probably, we did overprime it. So let's come back again. So fuel boost on, checking up here. We've got fuel flow. 1, 2, 3. Close that. There we go. Good start. Going to bring the RPM back to 1,000. There we go. and then I am going to now, what am I going to do? Going to turn the fuel boost off. Okay. Now I'm just going to try something very quickly. Bear with me. There we go. That's better. I wondered if I popped outside, if it might. There was a bit of interference coming from the outside sound, so I've just popped outside, and now it's much quieter in here. That's much better. Anyway, so we've got engine 2, or the right engine, started, so we can have the right alternator on now. And if we now go to the electrical system, you can see right alternator is doing its thing, and the juice floweth. Okay, so back to engine 1, or the left-hand engine, as it's otherwise known. So same kind of scenario for that. We're going to put the fuel boost on, just advancing the throttle just a little bit. Fuel boost on. Fuel flow is good, and I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to pull that right back, and then there we go. Good start. Engine to rich. We're going to bring her back now. Bring her back to 1,000 on both of those, and then we have fuel boost off and left alternator on, and everything is peachy. Okay, let's have another quick look outside. Hey. Okay, now remember I said it's early access, so things might be a little bit different. So where are we? That's all good. We've got our engine started. We've got both engines going. Our gyro is good. Let's get back to our, I was going to say check gyro pressure. Gyro is good. So that's all lovely jubblies. Let's now have avionics on. There we go, and I'm just going to quickly, while we're at it, load up the flight plan. So let's get that going.
TOS system test OK.
Do you know what? I do so much helicopter flying that whenever that goes off, I always think I need to turn it off, but we don't need to do that today because we're not flying helicopters around mountains. So I'm going to activate the flight plan. Let me just lock that. There we go. Lock that off. And also, if I look at my flight plan from SimBrief, we're flying the Bren 2J departure. So I'm going to add. Let's go back. Procedures. The Bren 2J, and the runway is 08, and the transition is Breno. So that's all good. So we'll load you in. And then we are going to be doing the Ben U3W arrival into Bergamo. What the hell did I say? Ben U3W. Ben U3W. Our transition is going to be Benus Maximus, and we're going to be landing on 30. So that's a good. So we'll load you in. That's all nice. Map. So we've done that, we've loaded that in. I'm just going through a mental checklist myself just to make sure. I'm going to quickly have a look here and check that everything is set up here. Yep, so our compass is aligned with our HSI. We've got the DG slave here as well. If you have that on ever so slightly, in the Comanche you have to constantly do manual corrections between the HSI and the whiskey compass, which you can still do in this aircraft. But in this aircraft we also have this DG slave here, which will slave the direct guidance to the whiskey compass to a certain extent, and it's not kind of an instant snap effect, but it will move things around. Right, quick look over here. We can see our flap are now up. Right, this is what I wanted to show you. So we're going to put that there, and then I'm going to go to fuel. I'm going to cheat a little bit and update digital engine monitor with our fuel load. I tend to I tend to, by habit, I tend to lean looking at the EGT rather than using this, but we'll have a look at it when we get in the air anyway, because it's one of those things. If you've got a cool little feature, then you might as well use it. And let's face it, I should just learn to use it and not be such a Luddite and be so lazy. Okay, quick look down here again, and is there anything else I want to do? I don't think so. I'm happy with that. Happy with all. Oh, we can have an engine heater as well. I meant to mention that. If you wanted to do that, you can heat the engines if it's a cool day. Everything is fine there. Don't want to change that. Okay, that's all good. Yeah, I don't want to mess around with anything else. Right, let's do it. Let's call ATC. Oh, let's get some. Should have put the beacon lights on. Did I miss that in the checklist? Am I silly? Before engine start? No. Maybe that's just one of those things you should use your common sense. Right, the beacon light is now on. I'm going to have the nav lights on as well while we're at it. Why the hell not? We'll put the pitot heat on as well, and then we're all ready to go there. We don't need the cabin lights at the moment. I'm going to get the blower on. How are we doing here? Aircraft. That's fine. There we go. 77 degrees Fahrenheit, which I think is all right. I work in Celsius, and that won't change to Celsius at the moment, so maybe that's just something that needs to be sorted out. Right, okay, there. I was saying let's get ATIS to start off with. Let's try and have a modicum of professionalism, please. So we'll go 1, 2, 6. No, I moved my head, so I lost it. 1, 2, 6, 0, 3. Oh. Grabbing a pen there, forgot to do that. Yeah. Yeah, click the right one, you idiot. There we go.
Innsbruck Airport Information Romeo 1704 Zulu. Wind 080 at 11. Visibility 10 miles or more. Few clouds at 5000. Ceiling 6000 broken. Temperature 25. Dew point 15. QNH 1022. VFR conditions. Landing and departing runway 08. Transition level 100. Advice on initial contact, you have information Romeo. Innsbruck Airport Information Romeo.
That's kind of cool, isn't it? Okay, so we're going to contact, we have no ground here by the looks of it, so we're going to contact the tower. So I'm just going to put 1, 2, 0. I'm going to say it, I've done quite a few videos with ATC now, but I tend not to use ATC very much. In fact, most of the time when I'm using ATC, I'm actually making videos, so my phraseology might not be great. I'm not an expert. As I say, I treat these kind of flights very much as a training flight, so bear with me if you're an expert and you're thinking, my god, he's murdering the phraseology. You just need to bear with me on that.
Griffin 5-4 Zulu, ramp 5 taxi at pilot's discretion.
So
Ramp 5 taxi at my discretion. Griffin 5 for Zulu.
We have got other pilots that we have to consider. So I'm just going to have a quick look here, and I'm going to put that onto over here. There we go, because that's kind of the runway direction. We're going to see him taking off. Where are you, matey? I can hear you. Don't want to bang into anything. Right, I don't know. I don't know how much premium voices I've got left, by the way. So it might switch to. I can just see a wheel there. He's just coming in. It might switch to Billy Basic voices at some point. We will see. Okay, right, so I've got Tower dialed in now, so let's have a chat with Tower and get our IMC clearance. Innsbruck Tower, Golf Delta Romeo Mike Sierra with information Romeo. Request IFR clearance to Bologna.
Golf Delta Romeo Mike Sierra Innsbruck Tower. Thanks for information. Romeo, expect runway 08, Breno 2, Juliet departure. Initial climb to 8,000 feet. Squawk 1000.
Expect runway 08, Bren to Juliet departure. Initial climb to 8,000 feet. Squawk 1000. Golf Mike Sierra. Okay, let's pop that in. What did you say? 1,000.
Golf Delta Romeo Mike Sierra. Read back correct. Call me back when ready for start or taxi.
Will do, matey, and it's not going to be long at all. Wilco Golf Mike Sierra. Okay, so mental checklist. I have got my clearance. I have put my squawk into the box. I have got the correct setting on my altimeter. I have aligned on there. I've got runway heading on there. That's all good. Happy with that. Bloomin' marvellous. Right, what else do I need to think about while I'm thinking about things? I've loaded the departure and I'm just going to have a quick look on wind this out yet so I can see that's all loaded in nicely. Marvellous, marvellous. And he said climb to 8,000 feet, so that's all good. Right. Ready for taxi to runway 08, Golf Mike Sierra.
Golf Delta Romeo Mike Sierra, runway 08, taxi at pilot's discretion.
Taxi at my discretion, Golf Mike Sierra. Okay, fair enough. I've noticed it do that at a couple of other airports. I don't know if you have to have some kind of special, special BeyondATC version that gives you a bit more detail, but we will see. Right, let's not forget our checklists. Right, so quick look here. I just realised I've had. When did the mixture go fully rich? Did I leave it there? That should have been leaned out. My lord, this will give us a chance to show you something. Right, throttle. We'll do the run up when we get there. I want to show you what happens. Let's have a look here. Okay, they're all right. So these dots here are our mags, or our sparks rather. If I had fouled the spark plugs because I'd left it in rich for too long, then we would have seen that these dots would be a lot smaller, and that would indicate that we got some fouling. Luckily for me, that hasn't actually happened. I'm quite disappointed in myself that I left the mixture fully rich there on both of those. Schoolboy error, that is. Okay, right, back to here, back to checklists. So let's taxi, and then the next thing we're going to do is our run up. So let's remove parking brake, quick look around, nothing going on. Oh yes, must remember this is the Aerostar, so we don't steer using the rudder pedals, we steer using an electronic steering switch, which is taking me all over the shop. Let's have a look, quick check down. It should be working. It is working. You just have to anticipate it quite a lot, which I didn't do there. So what I'm actually doing is I'm using a rocker switch on my yoke, on my fulcrum yoke, to do the steering, literally left and right. So you have to do that. You can use differential braking as well, by the way, once you get to a certain point. But here we go. It is lovely, isn't it? Quite lucky with the weather. You'll remember from the start of the video, which I recorded earlier today, there was a huge block of rain up ahead, but now that we've come into the evening, that has dissipated now, although we have still got some clouds, and it'll be interesting to see what weather we do get on the way. Look at me not following the yellow line properly because I'm too busy yakking. Okay, so I'm going to swing us over here a little bit, and then we'll point into wind, and we can do our run up. Don't want to get too close to the edge of the taxiway there. Right, that'll do. Here we are. Run up. So we've warmed up, that's all good. Prop is fully forward. Mixture can now go fully rich. Throttle to 1500 RPM. That's a good. Engine instruments, quick look around, everything is okay there. We can check the alternator, check for 28. Let's see, I think what that might mean is if I was to left and then go to right. Okay, so I've turned the left alternator off. Come on, give me back my head tracking.
All aircraft be advised, information Sierra now current, QNH 1023.
Okay, interesting. Interesting. Probably doing something wrong there, but just having another look here. It is saying check for 28 volts. We have not got 28 volts on the alternator, so let's have a quick fiddle. Get back onto the bus. Okay, I'm not quite sure what's going on there. Let's have a quick look at the, probably just something that I'm missing. What have we got here? So we've got 28 volts coming from there, 28 volts coming from there, 28 volts coming from there. So actually that's good. I'm obviously just missing something. If you are an expert, tell me what I'm missing, because based on that checklist, it kind of feels like I should be seeing 28 volts there, but I'm not. So yeah, not entirely sure, but anyway, we're seeing it there, so that's okay. Right, so we've done that. Let's set the throttle for 2100 RPM now, and prop cycle 4 times. Listen to this. Get all that lovely oil out in the governor. There we go, you're back, and now we can do a mag check. So left engine, left engine's good. Now right engine. Damn you. There we go. So good. I was just checking my click spots then, and we check the gyro pressure again, and gyro pressure is rather excellent. Right, let's calm everything down now. Let's calm everything down. Right, before takeoff, cabin door closed and locked. It is controls free. Doesn't hurt to check that again because I've been caught out. Yeah. Been caught out with that before, where something goes wrong with the controller. Mixture is fully forward, prop is fully forward, boost pumps we can now put on. Instruments check. Are we all good? Yes, we are. Radios are set. I tell you what I am going to do. Can I predict what frequency they're going to give us afterwards? Tower. I don't know. I'm going to leave that because I've been caught out of that before, where there's no. What am I trying to say? There's no departure frequency given in the list in BeyondATC, and then they suddenly give you one. So I'm going to leave that there. Right, flaps. I'm going to leave as it is. Trim. We can leave that as it is. Pitot heat I've got on. Parking brakes released and throttle fully forward, but we're not quite ready for that just yet. So I'm now going to put the strobes and I'm going to put the landing lights on, and that's all good to go. And then we can call the tower and tell them we're ready for departure once I've swung us round, which is going to go off the... Come on, round you come. It is ever so funny steering with this electronic switch system. You can see we're... come on. What would be really useful if there was some sort of gauge in the aircraft that showed you where it's at, but we don't have that. But anyway, okay, there we go. Trust me, when you do it, you'll see what I'm talking about. Right, quick check down here. That's all good. Happy with that. Right, let's call the tower and say ready for departure. Look at that, some of our cylinders are already getting a bit hot from prattling about on the ground. Ready for departure, runway 08, Golf, Mike Sierra.
Golf Delta, Romeo Mike Sierra, Innsbruck Tower, wind 080 at 12, runway 08, cleared for takeoff.
Copy the winds, clear takeoff, runway 08, Golf Mike Sierra. Right, let's take the runway, quick check. I have got traffic being injected, so we'll see what's coming up. That's why the engines were overheating. I still had the fair bit of throttle on. Oh, again, forgot there that I need to steer it using the switch. And let's come round. There's going to be an art to doing this smoothly. There really is. Right, let's bring you round. Right, brakes on. Quick look. How are we? Everything's good. Everything's fine. That's pointing where it should be. Levers are where they should be. We are good to go. After takeoff, I'm just going to quickly have a look at that. Wheels, brakes. Yeah, wheels up, gear up, flaps up. And then once we get into the climb, fuel pump off at 1000 AGL and reduce power. 24 for the climb. That's what I want to have in my head. Okay, let's go. Very sensitive on the rudder. Okay, positive rate of climb, gear up. And there we go.
Golf Delta, Romeo Mike Sierra, contact Innsbruck departure 128.975.
There you go. Contact departure on 128.975 Golf Mike Sierra. When you're doing ATC, you have so many things you've got to remember. 128.975. Okay, let's get that sorted. Innsbruck departure, Golf Delta Romeo Mike Sierra on the Bren to Juliet's departure. Should have said climbing to something, I think.
Golf Delta Romeo Mike Sierra, Innsbruck departure identified, climb to 10,000 feet.
Climb to 10,000 feet, Golf Mike Sierra. There we go, that's cool. That's good. 10 or 10,000 feet gives me a nice warm fuzzy feeling because we've got lots of nasty mountains around. So I'm keeping a nice rate of climbing. It absolutely climbs like a rocket. You've probably heard it before, but this aircraft originally was envisaged to have jet engines, and that's why it's the unique shape it is. But it is absolutely stunning. Right, I'm just going to come back a little bit on the mixture. You can see that our cylinders 5 and 6 on both engines are running a little bit hot, but nothing to get panicky about at this stage. Best climb speed is 122 to what was it? 160. So I am poking the nose up a little bit too much there, I think. Keeping an eye on our departure. Oh yeah, we can have the fuel pumps off now. Keeping an eye on that. Keeping the climb in. The optimum cruise for the it's not the Comanche, the Aerostar is kind of anywhere between 6 and 9,000 feet. It's unpressurized, we don't have oxygen, but that's just where the engines are kind of getting their sweet spot. But she will go a little bit higher, and because of the lumpy bumpies that we've got around here, 10,000 is quite a nice safety altitude. Because there are some very tall mountains around here, as you can see, and I for one do not want to be slamming into any of them. Right, just watch our heading. Increase the we're looking for 24, so just increasing the, as we've risen there, our manifold pressure has dropped off a little bit. I put the autopilot on switch on there. That's not, the autopilot isn't on, that's just arming the systems, and you can see there's a switch over there, auto trim. Again, that is just really to make sure that the autopilot has got command when it needs to of the trim tabs, which is quite important. And I'm just going to do a little bit more trimming with the
Golf Delta Romeo Mike Sierra, contact Vienna Center 124.4, bye bye.
Contact Vienna Center on 124.4, good day, Golf Mike Sierra. 124.4 transfer. Vienna Center, Golf Delta Romeo Mike Sierra is on the Bren to Juliet's departure and climbing to 10,000 feet. Kind of mashed that up a little bit, didn't I?
Golf Delta Romeo Mike Sierra, Vienna Center, good afternoon, identified, continue climb to 10,000 feet, QNH 1023.
continue climb to 10,000 feet, QNH 1023 Golf Mike Sierra. So QNH has changed a little bit. We'll just pop that up.
Class line 72 Delta. Contact Munich radar 120.65. Have a good afternoon.
Quiet turn here, but as you can see, quiet turn, a quick...
Center on 120.65, class line 72 Delta.
A tight turn is what I was trying to say. But as you can see...
Top Swiss, 85 Kilo Alpha, you are assigned flight level 380. I show you at flight level 369er. Climb to flight level 380.
We're above all the nasties now.
Roger. Climb to flight level 380. Top Swiss 85 Kilo Alpha.
Let's check the manifold pressure, and I'm just going to lean us a little bit. Keeping that climb in. Let's just zoom in a little bit here so it's a little bit easier for you to see it as well. So we're just rounding the corner of that leg now. Still got a little way to go. And here we are, 10,000 feet, which as you can see from the mountains around us feels rather close. Okay, so what I'm going to...
Vienna Center, Atero 433. Good afternoon. Flight level 370.
Let's be careful of that climb there.
Ataro 433, Vienna Center, radar contact.
Just trimming her out a little bit.
Aegean 807, contact Milan radar 124.925.
We're now in the cruise phase.
Contact
so
Milan radar 124.925, Aegean 807. Vienna Center, Singapore 318 Heavy. Good afternoon. Flight level 299er.
coming back on the RPM, watching those altitude busts.
Singapore 318 Heavy, Vienna Center, radar contact.
So, we've got a tight turn coming up. I'm not going to put us onto autopilot just yet, because I need to talk a bit about that, because the autopilot in the Aerostar is a little bit different to what you're used to. It might seem obvious at first, but it is, as I say, a little bit different. Curse this cloud! There we go. That's all good. Let's just watch our heading there. So yeah, it's a little bit different in that we have a just going to lock that off there so that my head isn't making you feel sick. We've got this GPSS thing where you can see the switch here, heading GPSS. So it's a little bit different compared to another aircraft where, for example, you might just bang it into nav mode and it's going to follow the GPS. It kind of won't do that. If it's in... I'll tell you what, I'm going to read it straight from their manual, because then it will make a lot more sense than me trying to paraphrase it. What really happens when you set your CDI to GPS and engage nav is that the autopilot will fly...
Vienna Center, Iberia 0034, flight level 380.
Will fly in this... Don't you start, I can see...
Iberia 0034, Vienna Center, radar contact.
It's going to fly in this setup using the exact...
Alpine 45, Mike Romeo, contact Zurich radar 126.225.
Center on 126.225, Alpine 45 Mike Romeo.
The pleasures of flying with ATC. Basically, if you fly with this setup, it's going to follow with the same logic as it would a VOR, and it's simply going to use the course setting you've got on the HSI and follow the left-right movement of the CDI needle. It won't fly any curved paths or holdings or transitions between segments or anything like that. So there's two ways that you can do it. You can fly GPS flight plan without the GPSS switch, which is here. And if we were going to do that, hello. Do you know, I've been yakking away, and we have, of course, busted our altitude again. So let's come back down again before ATS tells us off. So if we were using it without the GPSS is like a clever little box that we've added to the aircraft afterwards that does a bit of the talking between the GPS unit and the aircraft autopilot. But basically, if we're going to fly a flight plan without GPSS, what you've got to do is set the CDI course on the GPS to GPS, set the HSI course to the GPS desired track for the current leg. That's the important thing, the current leg, and then activate nav mode on the autopilot. But then that means that every time you come to a new leg, what you've then got to do is you've got to change the course on the HSI. So it means constantly having to kind of manually set the next direction. So you'd be looking at the DTK. Not the DTK. You'd be looking at the You'd be looking at the DTK down here on your GTN, and it would be telling you what the next heading is going to be, and you'd have to dial that in. The other way of doing it is using the GPSS, which we've got engaged here at the moment, or we've got ready to go when we want to use it. And what that will do is it will take a bit of the work off you. It's a little electronic box between the two, and that means if we have that on, and then we set the GPSS on, and then we activate heading mode. So it's not nav mode; it's heading mode on our autopilot. Then it will follow that route, and the GPSS then kind of translates those different legs through to the autopilot. It will make more sense when we actually do it.
Malta 4803, QNH 1024, expect the ILS runway 06 with the J430 transition.
QNH 1024, expect the ILS runway 06 with the JA430 transition with Malta 4803.
So why don't we do that now? So I've got GPS, let me get the head tracking. There we go. So full instructions are: set the CDI course to GPS. You don't always have to do that. In fact, you know what? I'm going to I'm a little bit tempted. No, I'm going to do it. So let's set that to 180.
Vienna Center, Eurowings 39 Kilo Kilo, flight level 310.
I'm going to set that to 180. Just trying to
Eurowings 39 Kilo Kilo, Vienna Center identified.
Keep that descent in there.
Itaro 433, contact Milan radar 124.925.
Okay, we've got
contact Milan radar 124.925,
and I'm going to
433.
activate heading mode, which we've got. I'm going to activate altitude hold, and first of all I'm going to get us to the right altitude. This won't fly you to an altitude, but it will have altitude hold, and it will also hold your
Golf Delta Romeo Mike Sierra, contact Milan radar 124.925. Have a good afternoon.
It will hold your attitude. There we go. Autopilot's now on. Interestingly, altitude is, what are you doing? There we go. So it's just setting itself up there, just wobbling a little bit, and it's now going to follow.
Golf Delta Romeo Mike Sierra, contact Milan radar 124.925. Have a good afternoon.
Contact Milan radar 124.925 Golf Mike Sierra. Okay, let's switch to Milan. We are going to Italy. Transfer. There we go. And actually, just out of interest, yeah. Milan radar, Golf Delta Romeo Mike Sierra is level at 10,000 feet inbound to Ipkiss. I know it's not going to get that because I said it wrong. It's Ipkiss, not Ipkiss.
Golf Delta Romeo Mike Sierra, Milan radar, radar contact.
Ah, grazie, grazie.
Lot 3, Lima Foxtrot, descend to flight level 160.
Okay, so I'm going to put it onto
Descend to flight level 160, Lot 3 Lima Foxtrot.
attitude hold mode now. And it's going to hold the attitude of the aircraft. So we're not holding altitude anymore, we're holding attitude. We've got ATT there. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to press a button on the yoke. You'll need to set this up. But what this essentially is going to do is temporarily it's going to override the attitude hold, so I can point the aircraft down, and then I'm going to release it, and it should hold that attitude, and it has done. It has done, and you can see we're now descending, holding that attitude. Blooming brilliant. So what I'm going to do now is, as we're getting there, I'm going to press the button again. I'm now going to pull us back. Overcorrected a little bit there. I want to try and get us back onto 10,000 feet. Come on. There we go. And let's get us back there. I'm releasing the button. And now I'm going to put us onto altitude. Blooming marvellous. How wonderful. So, we have now got autopilot set up at 10,000 feet altitude hold. We are on a heading hold, but we're not, because we've got the GPSS set up. And what we're actually doing...
Wizz Air 1785, contact Zurich radar 126.225.
What we're actually doing is flying our...
Contact Zurich radar 126.225, Wizz Air 1785.
Flying our GPS flight plan. I'm going to get in there before you, ATC. Right, let's have a quick look down here, because what I haven't taken into account is our comfort. So let's have a look. So it's getting a little bit cold, so we'll pull the... I'm pretty sure... Yeah.
Lot 3 Lima Foxtrot, descend to flight level 150.
That bottom one is defrost, so we don't need that.
Descend to flight level 150, Lot 3 Lima Foxtrot.
And we'll have the heat on there. Don't need the cabin lights yet at the moment. I'm going to have the landing lights off. That's all good, that's all good. Quick look around here. Everything is marvellous. Right. Quick look over here, and I'm going to just lean us back a little bit. There we go. A couple of cool things here. We've got the prop de-ice. If I go boof, you can see that the prop de-icer amps there. That's something I really should have checked at the beginning, but you can see it all works. It's Accu-sim. Accu-sim does what it says. So, quick check. Everything is fine. Everything is looking good. Cruise. Let's get our power settings up to 24 and 2000. So we're okay.
Lot 3 Lima Foxtrot, descend to flight level 130.
Kind of in a medium kind of position
Descend to flight level 130, Lot 3 Lima Foxtrot.
With those. I need to study this. There we go. I'm just doing it old school style. I do need to study this because I can't remember. Lean right, let's try that. So that's lean rich. Okay, I'm going to...
Flying Bulgaria 407, contact Vienna Center 124.4, bye-bye.
Contact Vienna Center 124.4, flying Bulgaria 407. Have a good evening.
Yeah,
Lot 3, Lima Foxtrot, contact Milan radar approach 134.175.
Need to learn the ropes on that, and in a future video...
Contact Milan radar approach 13.175, Lot 3 Lima Foxtrot.
I will run through it in a bit more detail. But if we go to maintenance, if we go to engine analyzer, you can see here green indicates that we are we're running at basically an economy setting. Engine 2 is running slightly, there we go, so I brought that back. So we're kind of in a nice economy situation here, and we can see our mags are working, and all this squirty fuel, all this is working nicely. Love it. So much detail in there if you want to analyze it. It really is quite useful. And then if we look at our electrical settings, again you can see how the electrons are flowing and that everything is working great. Beautiful. Right, let's put that back there, and let's have a quick look at there we go. So we're coming up for a turn now, and I want to see how the aircraft behaves with regards to this turn. We shouldn't have to do anything now with the CDI. The aircraft should hopefully follow the GPS, but we will find out. Right, we're coming up to our turn. So let's see what it's going to do. The suspense. She's certainly a fast aircraft, that's for sure. Right, coming up for the turn. And the aircraft is turning. The aircraft is turning. Ever so slightly, it is quite a gentle turn, but it has done it. Fantastic, so that's all following through. Gives you a lovely feeling when everything's working. This scenery is beautiful. One of the things about doing this sort of flight...
Milan radar, Transavia 41 Lima, flight level 390.
Apart from...
Transavia 41 Lima, Milan radar, radar contact.
Radio chatter getting in the way of you trying to do a commentary of your video is that you don't get a chance to look outside, but now that we're all set up on the autopilot, we can have a good look outside. I flew over this area in real life last week, and there wasn't much cloud. Visibility was fantastic, and I was gobsmacked at how realistic Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 is when flying in this area. It really is quite stunning. Looks amazing. So a little bit of cloud here, a little bit of cloud, but certainly nothing to worry about. Just scooting through it. Absolutely beautiful. I think mountain flying is just one of the things that make flying in the sim just so enjoyable. Beautiful scenery, a great aircraft to fly. What more could you possibly ask for? This is a good opportunity to say, by the way, we have a Discord. There is a link to the Discord down below, so if you want to come along and say hello and join the community, please do. Be good to see you there. End of sales pitch. We'll be pleased to know. Okay, so I don't think there is much else to talk to you about at this stage. We're nicely in the cruise and everything is going nicely. Temperature's coming up, so it's 64, so I'm just going to pull that out a little bit. Again, it's Fahrenheit, which means nothing to me.
Milan Radar, Nubler 2599, good evening, flight level 350.
Nubler 2599, Milan radar identified.
It's just having a play with that. Why not? Go. There's that sweet spot again. So I'm just looking at the EGT here just to there we go. Yeah, that's kind of the sweet spot there. Okay. Wow, look at that scenery there. So what are you flying at the moment? Always interested to know what people are flying in the sim. I know there's been a lot of comparisons, I guess, because of the similar kind of launch time. But a lot of people have been talking about the Black Square Starship. And I must admit, I love Black Square, I really do. Love their King Air. That's the one I've probably flown the most. The Duke, they did an absolutely fantastic job on as well. Starship as a design doesn't really appeal to me, so it's not one that I've picked up. But I know that in terms of technology...
Luxair 65 Romeo, Milan radar, expect Sibyl Tree Alpha, runway 16 left.
And fidelity...
Expect Sibyl Tree Alpha, runway 16 left, Luxair 65 Romeo.
They have done a cracking job of it. I think they're kind of different types of aircraft. They've both got that a certain vintage is the wrong word, but a certain character about them.
Iger 630, contact Zagreb radar 124.85.
It will be interesting to see what else.
Contact Zagreb radar 124.85. Iger 630. Bye bye.
What else A2A add to this as they carry on developing it? Just see, we've got slightly different EGT on our engines there. Do have to manage them both. Yeah, it's funny. It's not funny. It's pathetic. The Comanche. I never really used the electronic computer on that either. I'm just very old school, flying warbirds and that sort of thing. But that one, it's there, it's in the aircraft. Really, you should get to know it and get to know how it works as well. Otherwise, one is just being rather lazy, isn't one? Look at that. I was here not that long ago in the H145 doing some HEM stuff. By the way, I also live stream on the channel if you didn't know, and I quite often live stream doing air ambulance search and rescue stuff in the H145, so keep an eye out for that.
Croatia 6 Charlie Hotel, Milan radar, expect Caleb Tree Golf, runway 14.
Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to lock off
Expect Kelip Tree Golf. Runway
off the head
14,
tracking.
Croatia 6 Charlie Hotel.
And I can get some water. I'm in a room with closed windows, closed doors, so that I don't drive everyone mad. We're currently in a heat wave in the UK. Hello? Hello? Ah, okay, I know what's wrong. I know what's wrong. You've probably just noticed that we suddenly started climbing like the clappers. And it had GA go around in the autopilot.
Lufthansa 5 Hotel Uniform, Milan radar, expect Betos 1 Bravo, runway 26 left.
Expect Betos 1 Bravo, runway 26 left, Lufthansa 5 Hotel Uniform.
And I'm thinking to myself, how the hell did that happen? And I've just realised I put the new Honeycomb Bravo driver in, and I had removed the go around. I used the go around button on the Bravo as my head tracking lock button. It's just quite convenient, and it's obviously I'd got rid of the setting within settings, and it's come back again. So when I locked my head tracking, what actually happened was
Fraction 805 Papa, contact Zurich radar 126.225. Have a good evening.
Put the aircraft into go-around mode.
Ryanair 8 Bravo Lima, contact Bologna, approach 118.15.
Contact Bologna, approach 118.15, Ryanair 8 Bravo Lima.
So I'm just using the attitude.
Air Serbia 84 Papa, contact Bologna, approach 118.15.
I've got the override in at the moment because I'm just making some changes.
Contact Bologna, approach 118.15, Air Serbia 84 Papa.
Okay, and now with there, let's put in. Okay, that's not gonna...
Itaro 433, Milan radar, expect Ryteb 3 Alpha, runway 16 left.
There we go.
Expect Ryteb Tree Alpha, runway 16 left, Itero 433.
It is so hot in this room.
Air Juneyao 1667 Heavy, contact Milan radar, approach 134.175.
It is so hot in this room that
Contact Milan radar, approach 134.175. Air Juneyao 1667 Heavy.
the button cap on my fulcrum stuck to my thumb.
Luxair 65 Romeo Zibil 3 Alpha, runway 16 left. Report ready for descent.
And as I moved it, it came off on my thumb.
Zibil 3 Alpha, runway 16 left, ready for descent, Luxair 65 Romeo.
And I never thought I'd have to talk like this.
Luxair 65 Romeo, descend to flight level 170.
Descend to flight level 170, Luxair 65 Romeo.
It is busy with this live traffic. It's very atmospheric though, isn't it?
Swiss 181 Heavy Milan radar, expect Negro 2 Alpha, runway 14.
If you would
expect Negro 2 Alpha, runway 14, Swiss 181 Heavy.
If you were doing this yourself, and you didn't have to do a commentary, it is kind of cool. And we're getting into the golden hour now. Sorry, I was just slurping water there. We're getting into the golden hour now. The lighting is going to be quite spectacular, I think.
Eurowings 4 Alpha November, Milan radar, radar contact.
Everyone is chatting
Icaro 433, you are assigned flight level 370. I show you at flight level 358. Climb to flight level 370.
You naughty aircraft.
Roger, climb to flight level 370, Itero 433.
I would never bust an altitude.
Swiss 181 Heavy, descend to flight level 070.
So
descend to flight level 070, Swiss 181 Heavy.
Interested to see at what point we start getting told to descend.
Alpine 67 Papa Foxtrot, contact Zurich radar 126.225.
We've still got a distance to run, but we're coming out.
Contact Zurich radar 126.225, Alpine 67 Papa Foxtrot.
coming out of the Alps now, and unfortunately that cloud is blocking the view of...
Milan Genie 52 Alpha. You were assigned flight level 330. I show you at flight level 311. Climb to flight level 330.
of Lake Garda.
Wilco, climb to flight level 330, Milan Genie 52 Alpha.
Sorry, I'm putting my water back over here. Look at that. Look at that.
Milan radar, Ryanair 4 Juliet Charlie, flight level 380.
Absolutely beautiful. I'm so glad I'm flying live time
Ryanair
and
4
weather.
Juliet Charlie, Milan radar, radar contact.
It really adds to the atmosphere of everything, doesn't it? When you do that sort of thing.
Croatia 6 Charlie Hotel, contact Zurich radar 126.225.
Coming up for another turn, let's have a look. So remember, like I said, we're in...
Center on 126.225, Croatia 6 Charlie Hotel.
We're in heading mode, but we have GPSS set up, so our little talkie box is talking to between our GPS and our autopilot, and we're following the magenta line just like this. Now, it's also raised...
Helvetic 8 Alpha Charlie, Milan radar, expect Calip 3 Golf, runway 14.
Also raises another point.
Expect Calip 3 Golf, runway 14, Helvetic 8 Alpha Charlie.
Why am I, Mr...
Milan radar, Austrian 5 Tango, good evening, descending via Everett Tree Hotel, flight level 240.
Mr. Warbirds, why am I...
Austrian 5 Tango, Milan radar, radar contact.
Why am I flying the magenta line? Because I just want to show you the autopilot and how it works, and doing this kind of ATC flight is probably the most realistic way of doing it, really. As I said before, I don't...
Transavia 5215, contact Rome radar 131.1, bye-bye.
I tend not to do a great deal of that kind of flying.
Contact Rome radar 131.1, Transavia 5215. Have a good evening.
But it's good practice to do that. What I will probably more likely be using this aircraft for, look at that scenery, look at it. I'll most likely be using this for somewhere between 3,000–4,000 feet.
Itaro 204, contact Rome radar 131.1.
Flying around Scotland and that sort of thing.
Contact Rome radar 131.1, Itaro 204.
So you will see the aircraft on the channel in the future, but we might not necessarily do this kind of 10,000 feet following the magenta line kind of thing, but it's good to know the capability. There we go, we can see it now.
Ryanair 4, Juliet Charlie QNH 1024. Expect the ILS runway 06 with the J430 transition.
It's quite
QNH 1024, expect the ILS runway 06 with the JA430 transition. Ryanair 4 Juliet Charlie.
It's quite interesting.
Alpine 18 Papa Golf Milan radar, expect Milky 1 Golf runway 22 left.
Oh dear, we'll get...
Expect Milky 1 Golf, runway 22 left, Alpine 18 Papa Golf.
It's quite interesting seeing the ground in the sim.
Ryanair 4, Juliet
having
Charlie,
just flown
descend
over
to flight
it in
level
real life.
090.
Descend to flight level 090, Ryanair 4 Juliet Charlie.
Magic Sun 6 Mike Bravo, contact Zagreb radar 124.85, bye-bye.
Center on 124.85, Magic Sun 6 Mike Bravo. Have a good evening.
So we got to remember.
Itaro 433, right ebb 3 Alpha, runway 16 left, report ready for descent.
That this is a persistent aircraft.
Right ebb 3 Alpha, runway 16 left, ready for descent, Itaro 433.
And how I treat it has an effect on the
Itaro
aircraft.
433, descend to flight level 190.
So I have to be careful of that.
Descend to flight level 190, Itaro 433.
I feel like I'm an interpreter, but I'm just talking rubbish.
Alpine 79 Bravo Yankee, contact Zurich radar 126.225.
I could translate that into something.
Center on 126.225 Alpine 79 Bravo Yankee.
Or maybe that as well, but I won't. They are proper chatty, aren't they?
Helvetic 8 Alpha Charlie, Caleb Tree Golf, runway 14. Report ready for descent.
It is so cool.
Caleb Tree Golf, runway 14, ready for descent. Helvetic 8 Alpha Charlie.
That these aircraft all exist. I wonder if...
Helvetic 8 Alpha Charlie, descent to flight
Turn
level
labels
210.
Okay, no, not seeing any labels.
Descend to flight level 210, Helvetic 8 Alpha Charlie.
Maybe they don't appear for the BeyondATC aircraft.
Ryanair 1 Foxtrot Alpha, Milan radar, amendment to your route advised, ready to copy.
Wilco, ready to copy. Ryanair 1 Foxtrot Alpha.
Ryanair 1 Foxtrot Alpha, expect leg low 4 uniform, runway 17 left. Ryanair 4, Juliet Charlie, contact Vienna Center 124.4, bye-bye.
Descend to flight level 240, Alpine 18 Papa Golf.
It really is all happening, isn't it?
Ryanair 5 X-ray, contact Rome radar 131.1.
See down there, we've got the temperature just right now.
Center on 131.1, Ryanair 5 X-ray. Bye-bye.
75 degrees Fahrenheit, and the percentages is green, which means that we're at a good temperature. Ah, oh, this is lovely, isn't it? This is what it's all about. You'll never catch me flying tube liners. I don't have the time or the patience to do kind of long airline flights, doing this sort of thing all the time, but there's something really nice about kicking back with the aircraft on autopilot and just taking in the scenery with the immersion of ATC and all that sort of thing as well. It is rather splendid.
Austrian 5 Tango, descend to flight level 160.
Expect Zibbletree Alpha, runway 16 left, Transavia for 1 Lima.
Golf Delta Romeo Mike Sierra Milan radar, expect Venus 4 Mike, runway 12.
That's us! Expect Bainham 4 Mike, runway 12, runway 12, correction, Golf Mike Sierra. Runway 12, who the hell says that? Idiot. Okay, so that's interesting.
Traction 250 November, cleared direct Laren, cross Lauren at or above 3,000 feet, cleared ILS Whiskey runway, 04 right.
So our...
Cleared direct Laren, cross Laren at or above 3,000 feet, cleared ILS Whiskey runway 04 right, fraction 250 November.
Our star has changed.
Helvetic 8 Alpha Charlie, contact Zurich radar 126.225.
Contact Zurich radar 126.225, Helvetic 8 Alpha Charlie.
Itaro 2056 Milan radar, expect Osbol 1 Sierra, runway 35 SAT.
Expect Osbol 1 Sierra, runway 35, Itaro 2056.
Ryanair 1 Foxtrot Alpha, leg low 4 uniform, runway 17 left, report ready for descent.
Leg low 4 uniform, runway 17 left, ready for descent, Ryanair 1 Foxtrot Alpha.
Okay, so I need to change it in here now.
Ryanair 1 Foxtrot Alpha, descend to flight level 220.
Descend to flight level 220, Ryanair 1 Foxtrot Alpha.
Okay, there we go.
Itaro 2056 Osmo 1 Sierra, runway 35, report ready for descent.
Osbol 1 Sierra, runway 35, ready for descent, Itaro 2056.
Itaro 2056, descend to flight level 190.
So it's
Descend
interesting.
to flight level 190, Itaro 2056.
We are just sipping the fuel. We've hardly used any fuel from the fuselage.
Swiss 181 Heavy. Contact Vienna Center 124.4. Have a good evening.
Center on 124.4. Swiss 181 Heavy. Have a good evening.
Austrian 5 Tango. Descend to flight level 130.
Descend to flight level 130, Austrian 5 Tango.
Transavia 41 Lima, Sidil 3 Alpha, runway 16 left. Report ready for descent.
Sidil 3 Alpha, runway 16 left, ready for descent. Transavia 41 Lima.
Transavia 41 Lima, descend to flight level 170.
Descend to flight level 170, Transavia 41 Lima.
Milan radar, Etero 165, good evening, flight level 390.
Austrian 5 Tango, contact Milan radar, approach 134.175.
Contact Milan radar, approach 134.175, Austrian 5 Tango.
That's interesting. I thought my navigaph was connected to my
Lufthansa
TDS.
38 Echo, Milan radar, expect Betos 1 Bravo, runway 26 left.
So, I've never done this
Expect
before.
Betos 1 Bravo, runway 26 left, Lufthansa 38 Echo.
So I'm going to see if I can do this on the fly.
Itaro 165, Milan radar, identified.
Okay. So my charts aren't connecting for some reason. Not entirely sure why.
Milan radar, Aircreek 3 X-ray Papa. Good evening, flight level 389er.
Okay, let's try this. Bear with me.
Aircreek 3 X-ray Papa, Milan radar, identified.
You can't see this, but I'm just trying to do something.
Itaro 2056, descend to flight level 090.
Descend to flight level 090, Itaro 2056.
And let's see.
Golf Delta Romeo Mike
Yay.
Sierra, Venus 4 Mike, runway 12. Report ready for descent.
Did he just talk to us? Yes. Binu 4 Mike, runway 12, and we are ready for descent, Golf Mike Sierra.
Golf Delta Romeo Mike Sierra, descend to flight level 070.
Descent to flight level 070, Golf Mike Sierra. That's interesting. So, where's the...
Golf Delta Romeo Mike Sierra, contact Bologna, approach 118.15.
Okay, I'm just going to stop messing about with that for a moment. We can do that when we've got a bit more time. Contact Bologna, approach on 118.15, Golf Mike Sierra. Right, let's get back ahead of it. So we want, he's given us a flight level, so we want I'm just gonna
Itaro 433, contact Rome radar 131.1.
Center on 131.1, Itero 433.
Milan radar, B-line 3 Whiskey Delta, flight level 370.
Lufthansa 38 Echo, descend to flight level 110.
So I'm using attitude
Descend
mode.
to flight level 110, Lufthansa 38 Echo.
Power. Right, what was it? A Benu 4 Mike. So let's
Ryanair 2 Yankee Charlie, contact Milan radar, approach 134.175.
what was it?
Contact
Arrivals.
Milan radar, approach 134.175, Ryanair 2 Yankee Charlie.
Itaro 2109, Milan radar, expect Sybil 3 Alpha, runway 16 left.
Expect Sybil 3 Alpha, runway 16 left, Itaro 2109.
Must be that one.
D-line 3 Whiskey Delta, Milan radar identified.
Yeah, must be that one.
Itaro 2109, contact Rome radar 131.1. Have a good evening.
Contact Rome radar 131.1, Itaro 2109.
So now we can actually, instead of having the map, we can actually
Aero
fly
Italia
the chart
381 Whiskey, Milan radar, expect a Moxie 2 Hotel, runway 35.
with the Pro integration.
Expect a Moxie 2 Hotel, runway 35, Aero Italia 381 Whiskey.
So I'll leave that up. Why not? Let's fly the chart.
Transavia 41 Lima, contact Rome radar 131.1.
Center on 131.1, Transavia for 1 Lima.
Landing lights on. Right, let's quick go to the checklist.
Aero Italia 381 Whiskey, a Moxie 2 Hotel, runway 350.
Okay.
Report ready for
Leave
descent.
that there, ready for when we need it.
Vertical track.
A Moxie 2 Hotel, runway 35, ready for descent, Aero Italia 381 Whiskey.
Aero Italia 381 Whiskey, descend to flight level 120.
Descend to flight level 120, Aero Italia 381 Whiskey.
That's interesting. Let's go back to the map, see what it's...
Lufthansa 38 Echo, contact Zurich radar
Okay.
126.225.
It's just curving, putting the
Contact
curve
Zurich
in.
radar 126.225, Lufthansa 38 Echo. Have a good evening.
That's fine.
Milan Radar, Turkish 7 Juliet Yankee, out of flight level 153 for flight level 180 direct Laban.
Oh. That's
Turkish 7 Juliet Yankee, Milan radar. Good evening, radar contact. Climb to flight level 370.
nearly busted our
Climb
altitude
to
then.
flight level 370, Turkish 7 Juliet Yankee.
There we go. So we can see now we are now flying the Bennu Mike, which in the for this chart it showed it as Benus, but maybe that's Benus 4 Mike, but on the chart maybe it's just how it's abbreviated on the Navigraph chart. But that is the right one. I'm happy with that. Happy with that. Now, hang on a minute. We were meant to change. We were meant to change to approach, weren't we? Good God.
Ryanair 1 Foxtrot Alpha, descend to flight.
Bologna approach, Golf Delta Romeo Mike Sierra is level at 7,000 feet on the Bennu 4 Mike approach to runway 12. Noob.
Golf Delta, Romeo Mike Sierra Bologna approach. Good evening. QNH 1015. Expect the ILS Zulu runway 12.
QNH 1015 and expecting the ILS Zulu runway 12. Golf Mike Sierra. I've just had a message coming up saying my premium characters are low, so it might switch to the Billy Basic voices soon, so that'll be interesting.
Golf Delta Romeo Mike Sierra, descend to 4,000 feet, QNH 1015.
Descend to 4,000 feet, QNH 1015, Golf Mike Sierra. Okay, let's descend.
Golf Delta Romeo Mike Sierra, descend to 2,500 feet.
Ooh. Descend to 2,500 feet, Golf Mike Sierra. Bang in the QNH. So we're now going down to 2,000. Come off on that. come off on that. Quick check. Yep, that's good. It's doing everything it should be doing. It's cleared us down to 2,500 feet. It says there on that leg of the arrival that we should be above 3,500 feet, but I'm going to do what ATC tell me to do. It's their airport. So, approach, autopilot master, we're still using it, boost pumps, blah 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 blah. We're not quite ready to do that yet, but we're coming up to it. She said ILS Zulu 112, so let's go into procedures, and we will have ILS 12 Zulu. She hasn't given us a transition, but I'm expecting... Is it going to be MDUD? I'm going to say MDUD, why not? Load approach. There we go. Map. Brilliant. Oh, how good it is to be in Italy. I love Italy. Used to come to Bologna quite a lot with work some years ago.
Golf Delta, Romeo Mike Sierra, 6 miles from Innsbruck. Turn left, heading 120. Maintain 2,500 feet until established. Cleared ILS Zulu runway 12.
Left heading 120, maintain 2,500 feet and cleared for the ILS Zulu 12 Golf Mike Sierra. Right. Let's put that there. And now what I'm going to do is, because she's given us a heading, we need to switch to heading mode. I'm going to plop that there. There we go. So we're now in heading mode, and we've still got the descent down to 2,500 until established. The descent is in the box. Let's go back. I want to make sure I have got everything in there. So waypoint info, airport, frequencies. Now there is some scenery for this on flightsim.to, but unfortunately it's out of date a little bit, and although some of it works, I did notice when I checked it out that the scenery, I was getting some weird things happening with the scenery, so I haven't got that loaded in. Just checking that. I haven't got that loaded in. I've just got the Billy Basic standard issue Asobo Bologna. Okay, so let's have the boost pumps on now. Mixture full rich. Fuel selectors are on. Flaps, yep. All good. Happy with that. Super duper. Okay. Let's keep an eye on things. So we're on a heading of 120. But I kind of feel a little bit like we're going off track, if I'm honest. So let's just go back. This is where I need to concentrate.
Golf Delta Romeo Mike Sierra, contact Bologna Tower 120.8.
She said turn left heading 120, and she said, yeah, so, yeah. Okay, let's try this. 120.8. Transfer. I should have confirmed the frequency change back to there. I'm very naughty jumping, so that's a mistake. Bologna Tower, Golf Delta Romeo Mike Sierra is descending to 2,500 feet on a heading of 120 for runway 12. See, we're way off. My head is saying we should be turning back.
Delta Romeo Mike Sierra Bologna Tower, wind 345 at 2, runway 12 cleared to land.
Copy the winds and cleared to land runway 12, Golf Mike Sierra. Okay, so I'm going to cancel the autopilot now. I'm guessing what she meant was Let's dangle the Dunlops, or get to a point where we can dangle the Dunlops. I think what she meant was...
Bologna Tower, Air Serbia 84 Papa, ILS Zulu runway 12.
Heading and maintain, and the
Air Serbia 84 Papa, Bologna Tower, wind 345 at 2, runway 12 cleared to land.
To maintain until established.
So, runway 12 cleared to land, Air Serbia 84 Papa.
Probably should have turned... Let's have one notch of flap.
Air Serbia 84 Papa, exit right next available taxiway.
Probably.
Exit right next available taxiway, Air Serbia 84 Papa.
Probably should have turned...
Bologna Tower, Ryanair 8 Bravo Lima, ILS Zulu runway 12.
Onto the ILS.
Air Serbia 84 Papa, monitor ground 121 decimal 925. Have a good evening.
Ground 121 decimal 925, Air Serbia 84 Papa. Bye bye.
Have a quick peek at the EFB and drifting all over the show.
Ryanair 8 Bravo Lima, Bologna Tower, wind 345 at 2, runway 12 cleared to land.
Runway 12 cleared to land, Ryanair 8 Bravo Lima.
Excuse me, you've cleared me to land and now you've cleared the Ryanair to land. That's a little bit naughty. I don't think you're meant to do that, Mr. Bologna controller. Right, let's concentrate, boy, on flying this approach instead of messing about with buttons and things. Right, let's have a little bit more flap. Oh, we've got all the flap. All the flap. A little bit gusty. Nothing major. Certainly had worse.
.500.
Times like this I wish I could remember what the actual approach speed was. No, let's fly the aeroplane. Let's not faff about with the tablet, because that's when you start getting into trouble. We've already dropped below the glide slope. Okay, here's an aircraft. Yeah, you hold there, buddy.
Sky Malta 232, holding short, runway 12.
See, that's what I love. You can see him. That's Sky Malta, and he's holding short. He's a good lad.
Sky Malta 232, hold short of 12.
Yeah, hold short, because I'm coming in.
Wilco, hold short of 12, Sky Malta 232.
He's already cleared the Ryanair to land on top of me. Right, let's get the nose down. There we are. Could have done a quick run off there to escape the Ryanair that's no doubt just about to come flying up our...
Golf Delta, Romeo Mike Sierra, exit right next available taxiway.
Wilco Golf Mike Sierra. Can we just have a look? Okay, there's one coming up. I am conscious that that Ryanair is coming up. And by the way, I'll say it now while I remember. I will have shown you a replay of the landing, and of course you won't necessarily see the correct aircraft. There we go. Let's lean the mixture. Let's have strobe and landing light off. Golf Mike Sierra is clear the active runway. That's going to confuse
Golf
him.
Delta Romeo Mike Sierra, contact ground 121.925.
No, it didn't. You clever sausage. Ooh. Okay. Ah, now it's done this to me before. So what's happening at the moment is over on the box, on my BeyondATC box. It's saying it's trying to generate. That's not a good sound. It's trying to.
Golf Delta Romeo Mike Sierra, contact ground 121.925.
I would do if you let me. It's blocking me. It won't let me talk. It's coming up saying pilot request submitted, but I'm not actually talking. There he is. Is that the guy? Is that the Ryanair? I think that must be the Ryanair.
Golf Delta Romeo Mike Sierra, Bologna Tower.
Yeah, I'm trying to talk to you, mate, but it won't let me talk. I'm literally sitting here with the request submitted thing going round and round, and I'm not even talking. I might have to jump frequency, because I think this is just going to keep doing it, and we've probably got an airliner up the chuff now.
Ryanair 8 Bravo Lima, exit right at Kilo.
Come on, let me do it. Let me do it.
Exit right at Kilo, Ryanair 8 Bravo Lima.
Let me do it. Let me talk.
Ryanair 8 Bravo Lima, monitor ground 121.925. Bye-bye.
Sound of those.
Ground 121.925, Ryanair 8 Bravo Lima.
Sky Malta 232, Bologna Tower, wind 345 at 2, runway 12, cleared for takeoff.
Let him go past. How frustrating.
Runway 12, cleared for takeoff, Sky Malta 232.
So I'm going to park up here, and it still won't let me talk.
Bologna Tower, Golf Delta Romeo Mike Sierra, currently no information available about Golf Mike Sierra's status.
I'm trying to talk to you, but... Ah, right, now I can finally talk. Now it will let me talk. Contact ground on 121.925, Golf Mike Sierra. How strange. I wonder why that happened. Okay. 121.
Bologna Tower, Golf Delta, Romeo Mike Sierra, frequency for ground is 121.925.
Yeah, that's what we said. Transfer. There we go, we're on ground now.
Austrian 550 Mike, request taxi to the active.
Austrian 550 Mike, runway 12 taxi via Tango, Bravo.
Runway 12 taxi via Tango, Bravo, Austrian 550 Mike.
Bologna ground, Golf Delta Romeo Mike Sierra, request taxi to parking. Oh, we are playing with the big boys here, aren't we?
Golf Delta Romeo Mike Sierra, welcome to Borgo Panigale Airport. Say parking or advise if need assignment.
Request taxi to ramp 401, Golf Mike Sierra.
Golf Delta Romeo Mike Sierra, ramp 401 taxi via Tango, Victor.
Ramp 401, taxi via Tango Victor, Golf Mike Sierra. Okay, let's have a quick look where we are. I realise this isn't very good for you, so I'll look on this one. What does she say? Via Tango and Victor. So, okay. So that's up there. Let's just lock off. I'm just going to put it into go around mode, but I'm going to lock off that, and I'm going to just double check on my map here. So she said via Tango and via Victor. Okay. Let's have a look. Taxi. Yeah, this is where it kind of would have helped if I'd had another look, or a closer look, at where all these different places are. It's a different thing with this ATC that actually sends you to a specific spot, and I cannot see it. So let's come back out of there, go back into... So Tango and Victor, so it's round about there. Okay, I've got an idea where I'm going to go. Let's not mess around with me spending hours trying to figure out where to park. Remembering that we have to use the old electronic Scooby-Doo.
Austrian 550 Mike. Contact Bologna Tower 120.8.
I just realised that.
Over to Tower 120.8, Austrian 550 Mike.
So I'm just Speedy Gonzaling around a little bit here. So we're on Tango. Is that Victor there? What does that say? Fox. Bit of wheel squeal there. It's very hard to say. Is that Victor or is that uniform? It's the police heli area, so we don't want to... there we go, Victor. Yeah, that's Victor down there. So we go all the way down to the end. Yeah, you don't want to mess the police around. I have to say, as someone who doesn't fly tube liners, it is kind of cool having an ATC function where it injects tube liners into it, so you're kind of playing with the big boys, as it were. Let's just concentrate on flying. Love that sound. There he goes. Brilliant. Concentrate on your driving. Yeah, it'd be nice to have some really good Bologna scenery. It's one of those airports that I know, so it's always nice to have something that looks like the real thing. There you go. Remember, Roberto, you've got to use the tiller switch. You can't use the pedals. Right, we're going to turn in here. So let's just give us a bit of space and then whack it round with the old switcheroo, and then remember to, there we go, round it out a bit, and then we can pull in here, and we have made it to the general aviation area. Yeah, you can see vanilla is pretty boring, isn't it? Right, let's just whack us around. I'm going to put us here. There we go. Nice! Right, parking brake on. There we go. I managed to remember to do that. So after landing, we've done all that. Prop is fully forward. Blah, 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 blah. Flappage we've done up. So that's absolutely fine. Trim tabs, that's all good. Shutdown. Parking brake set. Check that we've done that. Yep, we've done that. Idle. Engine cool down. Radios are off. Turn that off. That's all good. Happy with that. And mixture. I'm going to do both engines at the same time. So we'll go wallop. And we're down. Alternators off. Let's have all these switches off now as well. Can have the beacon off. We can turn that off. Fuel boost off. OBS. And the blower off as well. Put that in just so I remember, because it is persistent. It'll remember where I had the switches next time, and I don't want to put anything in the wrong place. So there we are. We are down. I hope you enjoyed that flight. I'm not an expert at these things, but it was some lovely scenery, and we've arrived in Bologna with some rather nice lighting. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the flight. And if you are still here now and you enjoyed it, please don't, or rather, please consider subscribing to the channel. If you've enjoyed it, then please do consider subscribing.
Finnair 5 Golf uniform, ready to copy IFR clearance to Heathrow Airport.
And giving it a thumbs up, and that shouldn't be working because the radios are off, but that must be...
Finnair 5 Golf uniform, Bologna ground.
There we go, just closed down BeyondATC. It's obviously injecting it when even when the radios and everything are off. But anyway, as I say, thank you ever so much for joining. It's been a wonderful flight, it's been good fun. It's great to be in the Aerostar. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you on the channel again soon. Take care now, bye bye.